Hello, 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 hello. Hello, please join the meeting.
Hey Jui, हे मायक्रोसॉफ्टची फाईल का नाही ओपन होत?
एक मिनिट. काय नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग करून येत आहे.
परवा तर झाले ना.
काय लागतं?
मी काय बटन दाबलेली कसं?
माझं काय वापरलं पण नाही. फक्त नेट वापरले माझी मेल चेक केली. रिफ्रेश तुला ते टायपिंग करत सांगितलं. ओपन होतं.
ही वर्डची होते एक्सेल नाही होते.
चालू होता ना व्यवस्थित?
चालू होतं म्हणजे
उद्या
परवा तर मी ओपन केली.
रिस्टार्ट करून बघ.
Hello, sir.
Hello, can you hear me? There is some
Yes,
connectivity issue.
yes,
Hello,
sir.
you
Yes,
can
sir.
hear
I
now?
can hear.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So there are many students are asking to join in. So,
No, already 20 students has been admitted already.
so some of them are still waiting. I think so. Sahil and Dimple.
Already admitted.
Okay, okay, sir.
Can you see the screen now? This one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Admitted all students. Okay, so now we'll continue with that lathe machine. My apology for the uh, internet connectivity issue.
Yes. Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Continue.
Yeah, now everybody is admitted, right? Yeah. Can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen the lathe machine photo. Is it visible? This is it visible? History. Hello.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah. Okay. So some more facts about lathe machine. This is very important. So lathe is a forerunner of all machine tools. That's why it is called as the mother of machine tools. The first application was to make the potter's wheel. Potter's wheel means kumbhar ka mill. It is very versatile machine, lathe machine, that you can make everything. And now you are aware that it can be used for turning, tapering, form turning, screw cutting, that is threading, pacing, milling, boring, spinning, grinding, and polishing. The different type of lathes are engine lathe. Now now most of the lathe machines they use, or all lathe machines they use motor and gearbox. So earlier the lathe machine were run by engine, so that's why it is called as the engine lathe. So engine lathe will look like this. So you have an engine down here, on here. One more thing you have to remember here, this is called as the face plate. This is called as the face plate. So instead of chuck, now there is a face plate here, and you have a
So,
center here. Yes.
so like,
Yeah.
what do they use for the fuel for the engine? Like, they use electricity
No,
or
no,
like
mostly it is engine they use diesel driven. But that was in earlier days.
okay. Now they use electricity to
Now they
power.
use motors. Yeah, motors and gearbox. Yeah, motors and gearbox.
Thank you, sir.
So now this particular lathe machine, they have a faceplate here, and faceplate is having a center. So you can mount the workpiece in between center. So there are some special type of lathes, or if the question is asked to describe the various kinds of lathes or classification of lathes, then you can answer like this. One is turret lathe. These are the different type of lathes. Turret lathe. So whenever mass production is there, uh, that time you are using turret lathe, or turret lathe can be used for mass production. That is when the quantity is more, you can use the turret lathe. So something like a CNC lathe, computerized numerical control machine. So it has a tool post on which 6 tools can be mounted. So it is a 6 station, or it is hexagonal turret. I will show you the diagram also. And those tools are operated in particular sequence. Particular sequence. So a typical turret lathe, we have it in our workshop. This is what is a turret is. 6 station turret. So one, this is a hexagonal turret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a hexagonal turret. Now on every face, so this now hexagonal turret, it has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, like that. So on every face, the tools can be mounted. Every face tools can be mounted. So 6 tools can be mounted here. So there is no tailstock. Remember, there is no tailstock like our normal center lathe. There is no tailstock, but there is a turret. And then you have a front post. This is called as the front tool post. So on front tool post, you can mount 4 tools, 1, 2, 3, 4 that you know. This is your this turret lathe is a kind of a lathe. Then this is your workpieces. This is your workpiece. This is a coolant pipe. So like this front tool post, you also have a rear tool post from the back side. You also have a rear tool post from the back side. So that means how many tools can be mounted? You can mount 4 from the front, then 4 from the rear, and then 6 from the side. So 6 plus 4 plus 4. That means 14 tools can be mounted. 14 tools on this turret lathe. So imagine, like our normal center lathe, you can mount only 4 tools here and 1 tool on the tailstock. So 5 tools. Whereas on turret lathe, 4 tools on the front tool post, 4 tools on the rear tool post, that is 8, and then 6 tools in place of tailstock. So 14 tools can be used. So that's why it is used for mass production. And you have a specific sequence, like you have done OD turning. So you loosen this, index this, then use growing tool, use knurling tool, then here you use center drill, then loosen this turret, index the turret. So the next tool will come in the operation. So after center drill, say diameter 10 drill, then say diameter 15 drill, then boring operation, and so on. Then another type of lathe, if you want, you can write it down also. This is called as the single and multiple spindle automatic lathe, or it is also called as the automats. It is also called as the automats. So automats can have one spindle. One spindle means only one workpiece can be mounted. Multiple spindle means you can have more than one spindle. Mostly it is 8 spindle. Maximum you have 8 spindle automatic lathe. So in 8 spindle automatic lathe, 8 workpiece can be mounted at a time. That means if a single spindle automatic lathe can produce one piece, in the same time 8 spindle automatic lathe will produce 8 pieces. So multi-spindle automatic lathe or multi-spindle automat is always faster. See, 6 or 8 different operations can be performed on many parts at the same time. So if it is a 8 spindle automat, you can produce 8 components at a time. So 8 times faster than a single spindle. Then tracer
Excuse
lathe.
me, sir.
Yeah, tracer
Sir,
lathe.
someone wants to get in.
Sorry,
Aniket, someone wants to get in.
someone wants to again. I have to stop and then. I admitted. Admitted. Nobody is showing in waiting.
He was asking to ask you to add him.
Hello, Rutika. No, nobody is
Yeah,
waiting. Hmm.
he joined now. He
Yeah,
joined
he
now.
joined. No, now. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Is it visible? This screen, special type of plates. Yeah, Rutika.
Yes,
No.
sir. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Single and multi 6 and so tracer lathe is also called as the copy turning lathe. Copy turning lathe. So this tracer lathe is used for complicated workpieces. So in this we have to make a template which is an exactly replica of the finished product. On this template there is one tracer that moves on the template, and then according to the movement of the tracer, the tool which is mounted on the machine, that is cutting tool which is mounted on the machine, will move. And that is why it is called the tracer lathe, and it is also called the copy turning lathe. So it is also a kind of a automatic machine, mainly used for complex component. So wherever you have duplicate part, duplication is required, you go for this. Wherever there is a complexity, you use this. Generally it is hydraulically operated, and that tracer is also called as the stylus. Tracer is also called as the stylus. So stylus moves along the template, and it will cause the different slides of the machine to move as per the template. Once the slide moves, accordingly the tool which is mounted on the slide will move. Then programmable lathe is nothing but computerized numerical control lathe, CNC lathe. So generally you have two axes, longitudinal axis. Longitudinal means like this, my arrow is moving, all right, and that is called as the Z axis. Remember, this is Z axis. In case of lathe machine, the longitudinal axis is called as the Z axis and not axis. The students always make confusion. And the cross axis is called as the X axis. So here it is ulta than our coordinate system. So longitudinal is Z and cross is X. That is what you have to remember. There is no Y axis in CNC lathe. Generally, a CNC lathe is a two-axis machine. One axis is called as the Z, another axis is called as the X. DRO means before CNC there were machines. Normal machine was DRO. DRO means digital readout. So in digital readout you can see the position of the machine where the machine has stopped. In X direction as well as in Z direction you can see the machine reading whether the machine has stopped at a distance of 50 mm or at a distance of 75 mm or a distance of 100 mm. So that can be read on a digital readout. Digital DRO is nothing like what we see on our railway platform, critical indicator, expected time 9:23. It is something like that, DRO. Then you have CNC. So here,
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, there someone wants to join, sir. Omkar.
Again.
Yes, sir.
Somebody has left and again joined. Yeah, he has joined, I think. Omkar Parab.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
He joined. So let's go to this. So it's a CNC machine. Another computerized numerical control, that is CNC. DRO stands for digital readout. Those obviously CNC machines will be expensive than DRO type of machines. So here the component is controlled by the program, by the computer. Take a look at this. This is a CNC. A full photograph is not shown, only the tools are shown here. So this is what is your chuck, 3-jaw chuck. What you can see, this is a coolant pipe. And here you can see the number of tools which is mounted on a turret. So these are the end mills. These are the end mills. This is the drill. Different diameters of drills and different diameters of the end mills. This is your boring bar. All right. And this turret can be rotated. Turret can be rotated so that each and every tool can perform the operation on the workpiece. All right. This is another type of a turret on which the tools are mounted. See now what you can see, this is a chuck. So in the chuck there is a collet. In the collet you have hold a tool. So this is a chuck. In the chuck there is a collet. In the collet there is a tool. Right? Now in the syllabus there is also mentioned that machine specifications, and that question can come for 2 marks. How do you specify a lathe machine? Normally, suppose if I ask how do you specify, let's say a Omkar Parab or say Advait Raitesh, so how do you specify? So most important parameters. See, there are many specifications, but the important parameters we can say fair, or still more important parameters can be height. Height is say 5 feet 8 inch, and say weight is say 70 kg. So these are the two important parameters. So you understand how the personality is. Then there are many different parameters. Having full hairs, then he's fair, uh, then like that, having spectacles, then ears like this, lips like this, keeping mustache or keeping beard. So like that you specify. But the important parameters, you can say the height is say 5 feet 8 inch and the weight is say 70 kg. So like that, every machine has to be specified. Like we specify the model, our car ka model or our TV model. So like that, this is what is called the specification. So it is specified by what is the largest diameter which can be accommodated, largest diameter of the workpiece, whether you can accommodate 100 dia or 200 dia or 300 dia, and what is the length of the workpiece, which these are the two important things for the lathe machine. So accordingly you decide and accordingly you purchase the machine. Many times the people say मेरे पास पौने का ड्रिलिंग मशीन है, मेरे पास पौने का ड्रिलिंग मशीन है. इसका मतलब what does it mean? That the drill machine what he is having in which he can hold pauna ka drill. Pauna means 3 by 4 inch. 3 by 4 inch means 19.75. Or sometimes the people say I have 1 inch drilling machine. 1 inch drilling machine means I can accommodate maximum drill size that can be accommodated in the machine is 1 inch. Understand? So similarly many times people say that मेरे पास 4 इंच का लेथ मशीन है और 4 फुट का उसका एडमिट है. मीन्स मैक्सिमम डायमीटर व्हाट ही कैन अकोमोडेट इज 4 इंच and the length of the workpiece is 4 feet. So this is how, these are the most important specifications, two specifications of a lathe machine. In case of drilling machine, it is specified by the drill diameter which he can accommodate. There are other specifications also other than this diameter of the workpiece and the length of the workpiece, like how much it can move in longitudinal direction. So that we say third parameter, that is first we say maximum diameter, second we say the length of the workpiece. So third we say what is the travel, maximum travel in x-axis or in longitudinal axis. Fourth is what is the maximum travel in cross or in, sorry, first I said z-axis and second is x-axis. Longitudinal is always z-axis, remember, and transverse is always x-axis. So I repeat, the first parameter is swing, that is nothing but diameter. Diameter is also called as the swing. The second is length of the workpiece. Then third is travel in longitudinal direction or in z-axis travel we called as. Then fourth, x-axis travel. Then fifth is what are the number of speeds available on the machine. How many speeds, whether 4-speed machine or 8 machine or 16-speed machine. Like in our car we have 5-speed gearbox, so 5 speeds we get it in forward and 1 speed in rear. We say 5 plus 1 or we say 4 plus 1. So like that, generally most of the machines they have or they get or they give 9 speeds. So they have 9-speed gearbox generally. So that is the parameter. And then sixth parameter is feeds. What are the feed rates available on the machine? Feed rates means velocity of the tool. So generally it is from 0.1 to 2 millimeter or 0.1 to 5 millimeter per revolution. These are the feed rates available. See, there are two gearboxes available on the lathe machine. One is speed gearbox, which will give you different speeds, and another is called the feed gearbox, FEED gearbox, in which you have different feeds available. So every machine minimum 2 gearboxes has to be there, speed gearbox and feed gearbox. So I repeat again the specifications because this is important from examination point of view. The lathe machine is specified by following parameters. Number one, the diameter of the workpiece, that is for the swing. Second, travel of the workpiece. Then third, maximum travel in z direction or longitudinal direction. Fourth, maximum travel in cross direction. Then fifth, number of speeds available, and sixth, number of feeds. These are the 6 parameters you must write for 2 marks questions. And then many accessories, like whether there is a lamp available, whether there is coolant tank available, whether there is a 3 jog chuck available, like our car. I want this, I want fully loaded, semi-loaded, like that it is. So lamp is available, chuck is available, three jaw chuck, four jaw chuck, whether magnetic chuck or hard jaw chuck. Then it is available. Then guards. So that comes. Some of them come as a standard. Some of them come as a optional accessories for which you have to pay extra. All right. So this is what I told you. So now typical lathe can have 13-inch swing. That is the diameter. 13-inch means almost 1 feet. X scale जो है 1 feet diameter can be mounted. This is a common machine, and the lengthwise it is 6 feet. 6 feet. This is a normal average. A typical lathe machine is average. So if you buy this or if you purchase this, you can do most of the jobs. Most of the jobs. So, but if you want this as if you want to purchase a machine, then first you have to decide what you are going to manufacture, what is your application, and accordingly you purchase the machine. Whether you are going to manufacture only small component, then go for a rabbit kind of machine. If you are going to manufacture big components, then you go for big machines, which I will show how the big machine looks like. Now this is the meaning of admit. This A is B is nothing, that is maximum length of the workpiece which can be mounted. That is what is called the admit. And then look at D. D is the radius. It shows the radius, and A is nothing but the 2 times D. It's a diameter. A is nothing but the maximum diameter of the workpiece that can be held or that can be rotated on a lathe machine. Alright, so these are the two important parameters. The A is also as the swing. A is also called as the swing. हम लोग जो गार्डन में जाते हैं और we swing, isn't it? Same thing. The workpiece is swinging in jaws. So A is nothing but the swing and B is nothing but the admit. So this is how this machine is specified. These are some huge machines. This product. See, this is a machine and this is what the workpiece is. See how big the workpiece is. This particular workpiece is roll. This is called the roll, calendaring roll, and these rolls are generally used in textile machines, in textile industries, or in rubber mixing industries. See, like in textile industries, you must have heard of weaving machine, weaving shop, or spinning shop, or dyeing shop. So what happens here? There are two rolls. They are mounted for one another, and the cloth is passed between the two rolls. So it gets straightened, and then it is passed for the dyeing, that is for the coloring. So you need to manufacture this roll on a bigger machine. So this is the headstock of the machine. This is what is the operator is standing here. This is the cross line and this is the tailstock. So the admit for this particular machine is 30 feet, around 30 feet. This is another, heavy machines. These heavy machines you can see in Larsen and Toubro at Powai. Larsen and Toubro Limited. They have heavy machine shop in which they jobs for the textile, but also for the chemical industries. The big vessels, pressure vessels, heat exchangers. Those are all very huge. The diameter is almost 6 feet, 10 feet. 6 feet मतलब पूरा एक आदमी का height, 8 person का. So big jobs. They are into the process of shifting the heavy machine shop to the Hazira at Surat, but still in the process of the entire heavy machine shop is not shifted. So if somebody has any contacts, they can visit to see the heavy machine shop. So first, depending upon the application, you have to select the machines, whether you are going for whether your components are light or whether your components are heavy, because that decides the plant layout. Selection of the machines decide the plant layout. Selection of the machines will also decide the handling, how the material handling is going to be. Because if it is light machine shop having very small machines, then the component can be loaded or unloaded manually. If it is a heavy machine shop, then you need to have a crane. See, this is what you can see, the crane here, crane hook. You need to have an electric overhead travel crane which is mounted on the top for loading and for unloading the components, because the components are heavy. It cannot be loaded manually. You need to have cranes for loading and unloading. And of course there are many other parameters which decides the layout, plant layout. So this is how, this is a vessel, a pressure vessel for heat exchanger, which is used in chemical industries. This is the workpiece. You दिख रहा है, this is a workpiece, and the OD turning operation is going on. This is a headstock. This is what is headstock of the machine is. These machines are also called as the roll turning lathe, because these machines are specifically meant for huge rolls. This is also called as the roll. So this is also called as the roll turning lathe. Roll turning lathe. Russians are very good in manufacturing this kind of machines. See, if you want to go for very heavy machines, big machines, then Russia is the best. If you want to go for very swift machine, then Switzerland and Germany, that is the best. They have technology to make very small machines. For the big machine, Russia is the best. These parts of the lathes you are familiar. This is normal conventional machines. So I don't think there is any different parts. But what I was telling you, that there are two different gearboxes. You should remember. One is this. That's why I am telling again and again. This is for changing the speeds. Remember, if I am not pronouncing, you please ask. This particular is called the headstock gearbox, and this below that you can see, that is for changing the feed means it will decide the rate of of this, or it will decide the velocity with which you can machine, or the velocity with which your saddle has to move. So two gearboxes will be always there in conventional machines. In CNC machine, you will not see any gearboxes. There you just in the program instruction, you have to just specify the speed, and accordingly this will be taken. In case of, so here the speeds and feed will be in the fixed steps. Like say first speed. So if it is say 9-speed gearbox, then first speed is say 60, then 100, then 200, 300. So you will get those speeds only, 60, 100, 200. You have to change the levers accordingly. You will get those speeds only. If somebody says that I want 98.5 rpm, it's possible to get this rpm on this machine. Remember, that's why it is called as the fixed speed gearbox. Fixed speed gearbox. Suppose 0.1 millimeter per revolution, 0.2 millimeter per revolution, then you will only get those feed rates. If somebody wants 0.123 millimeter per revolution, you cannot get on this. That's why it is called the fixed speed or fixed feed gearbox. Whereas in CNC, you get wide range. You get infinitely variable speed. Means what? Suppose if the maximum speed is 6,000, minimum speed is 0, you can even get 992 rpm. Any speed in between minimum and maximum, 923 rpm. That is the biggest advantage of CNC. Thing for the feed rate also. If the minimum is 0.1 and if the maximum is 5 millimeter per revolution, anything between this you will get. And that's why it is called as the infinitely variable gearbox. Infinitely gearbox or infinitely variable feed gearbox. All right. Lathe bed has to be heavy. It's a casting. And I said why casting, because it can absorb the vibrations, so your vibrations are not transferred to the job, so that you get a good quality workpiece. Your quality of the workpiece is good, you don't get any chatter marks or vibration marks on the machine. That's why it's like a foundation of the building. If the foundation is strong, then the building will not collapse. Or in case of students also, if your concept or if your foundation is strong, then you can absorb any difficult things in the life. So same thing for here also, lathe bed also. This is how a bed will look like. That day I had shown you the drawing. See, this is a lathe bed on which over here the headstock is mounted, over here the tailstock is mounted. All right. So this is a L, or it is a V shaped, and this is flat. So if you remember V-shaped, your saddle moves, and on this flat portion, your tailstock moves. So I repeat, tailstock moves on the edge, and your saddle, hmm, that is this longitudinal movement of the saddle, that saddle moves on this V type of guide wheels. V is also called as the Dovetel guide wheels. And this entire is cast. And if you look, only this portion on which it is going to slide is machine. Rest all is not machine. It remains as cast only. Here this is hollow in order to reduce the weight of the bed. Part is headstock, which is on the left hand side. You are familiar. Headstock में you have a spindle. Headstock में you have spindle. Spindle में you are mounting a chuck. You can mount a chuck at the extreme edge, or you can mount faceplate, which I showed you, or which you can mount center also. These are called as the accessories. The question is asked, describe the various kind of accessories, lathe accessories. So in that you can write 3-jaw chuck, 4-jaw chuck, faceplate, live center. Live means which is rotating. The center which is mounted in the chuck or in the spindle is always rotating. That's why it is called as the live center. The center which is mounted on the right hand side, that is on the tailstock, is not rotating. That's why it is called as the dead center. The center which rotates is called as the live center. Center which doesn't rotate is called as the dead center. All right. So in the headstock, either you have a belt driven drive or you have gear drive. You remember that gear animated figure I had shown. And you have a pulleys. If it is belt driven drive, then you have pulleys. And disadvantage of belt is it slips. So if my motor is running at 1000 rpm, which is called the driver, the driven, that is spindle, will not rotate at 1000. There will be some loss always because of the slip of the belt. It may rotate at 990 or 980. So this is not called as a positive drive, and that's the disadvantage of belt and pulley drive. So nowadays nobody uses this. Everybody uses a gear drive. So gear drive is called as a positive drive. And if my motor is rotating at say 1440 rpm, the spindle will also rotate at 1440 rpm, maybe plus or 1 rpm difference you will get. So that's the advantage of gear drive. Then you have one lever for forward and reverse, like our clutch in the car. So with the help of this reverse lever, you can change the direction of the chuck rotation. Forward means that is rotating towards operator. That is called the forward. And reverse means chuck is rotating away from the operator. Means if you see from the tailstock, the chuck rotation will be seen in anti-clockwise direction. That is what is called as the forward. If you see from the tailstock, you will see that chuck is rotating in anti-clockwise. That is what is called as the forward. Remember, here you have to see in proper direction. If you see, again I am repeating, if you see from tailstock, you will see that it is rotating in anti-clockwise. But if you see from headstock, headstock के पीछे से if you see from the left hand side, you will see that it is rotating in clockwise direction. I hope it is clear. Hmm? So for you have to always remember that you have to always see in from the direction of tailstock, and forward means anti-clockwise rotation, anti-clockwise sense of rotation. Like suppose if I am seeing forward means it is rotating like this. So this is what is your anti-clockwise, correct? No, clock like this. If you see from here, from back side, it will be seen as a clockwise direction. And these are levers for changing the speeds. And it is all quick change gearbox, that you can change the gears quickly because there should not be any loss. Otherwise, your machining time will increase. Machining time will increase. So that's why it is called the quick change gearbox. Like in car, you can change the gears fatafat. First say second, second say third, third say fourth, and then fourth say top. You can change the gears very fast. So that's why it is called the quick change gearbox. And there is a certain mechanism which helps in changing the speeds fast. This is how your gearbox will look like when you open. These are called as the gears. See, this is your gear. This is what is your gear is. This is what is gear. I am giving more time because lathe is the mother of all machines. This is what is your gear is. These teeth, see, these teeth are not straight. These teeth are cut at an angle. These teeth, gear teeth are, this is called a gear. These teeth are cut at an angle. This particular is called the gear teeth. These angular teeth are called as the helical gear. This gear is called as the helical gear. Had this been straight like this, then it is called as the spur gear. S-P-U-R, spur gear. The teeth which are inclined is called as the helical gear. Spur gears are easy to manufacture. Helical gears are little difficult to manufacture. Little. Then why we go for helical gear? Because spur gears are noisy. It creates noise, lot of noise. So there is a discomfort. Whereas helical gear is silent. Normally in your car also or in automobile also, if you open the gearbox, you will see that it has a helical gearbox. Helical gearbox. The advantage of helical gearbox is it is silent in operation. There is no noise, so it is comfortable. And there is no disturbance. All right, and in between you have a clutch here. This is clutch. So clutch is used for engaging different gears. Like suppose if you engage this gear or if you use this gear, you will get different speed. If you use this gear, you will get different speed. If you use this gear again, you will get different speed. So like that, you have to keep on engaging. Exactly like your car ka gear. Then these are the small tubes, metal tubes. These tubes are used for lubrication purpose. You have a centralized lubrication pump fitted on a tank. It is called the lubrication tank. In the lubrication tank, which is outside now, lubrication outside on the floor, the lubrication pump is mounted. That pump will feed the lubrication oil through these tubes, because these are all rotating parts. So if it is not lubricated, then those parts will wear very fast and you have to go for very frequent maintenance. So these are all for the lubrication. And of course, this portion is machined, you can see, on which the top cover will be mounted and then it will be closed. These are the levers. These are the levers. These levers are connected to this clutch, and with the help of this lever you can uh, engage or disengage different gears. Carriage which is on which crossguide is mounted, or saddle is mounted, which is used for moving the tools in two direction, longitudinal direction and cross direction. Alright. So saddle is nothing but you have to remember. This is again asked for 2 marks question. Saddle is a H-shaped casting, H shape, which is mounted on the top of the lathways. Alright. And on the saddle you have cross slide and apron. And then you have a cross slide which is mounted on a saddle which moves in transverse direction. And this saddle and cross slide is called as the carriage. Carriage, like which is used for carrying. That's why it is called as the carriage. It carries saddle, it carries cross slide, it carries apron. So carriage is further divided into saddle, cross slide, and apron. It's like carriage is like Amitabh Bachchan, and then saddle, cross slide, apron. They are like Abhishek, then Abhishek Bachchan ka daughter, like that. Sub parts. See, this is what is your saddle is. This is your cross slide. And see, I was talking about H shape. So H shape means, see, look at this and this. ये जो है, so this looks like a H. That's why it is called the H-shaped saddle. And this, it is called the H-shaped saddle, on which cross slide is mounted. Alright, and this front portion is apron, or this whole thing is called as the carriage. This entire assembly is called as the carriage. These are the again guideways, carriage ka, on which cross slide is mounted. So if you look here, it looks like a doe tail, L shape. Similarly here also. And see this, on this the slide moves, the cross slide moves. On this portion, the cross slide moves. This. So these are machined, then grind, and then scrape matlab kind of a polishing or kind of a filing work, so that there is a perfect movement, there is no play, as I told earlier. Then you have a cross slide which is moved on the top of the saddle. Can be manual, can be moved manually, or can be automatically. Then compound slide is mounted on the cross slide. Alright. And generally it is always moved manually, which you know. This is how a typical lead screw will look like, which is used for threading. This is used for threading. An apron which is fixed to the saddle. The front portion is called as the apron, and from the top what you see, that is called as the saddle. और apron plus saddle दोनों को मिला के we call it as a carriage. All right. The handwheel which is mounted on the apron is used to move the lathe bed in longitudinal direction. So you have apron, that is the front portion, on which saddle that can be seen in the top view, and apron plus saddle is called as the carriage. See, this is your apron. This H-shaped portion is called as the saddle. This saddle. This is your hand wheel which is used for moving this. This is a compound rest which is generally this lever and this lever. See, you have two levers. This particular lever is used for automatic feed or auto feed in longitudinal direction as well as this transverse direction. This particular lever is used for cutting threads. It is called as the plate lever. So remember, this is this split nut lever is used for cutting threads. And this is your lead screw. Lead screw is used for threading, and this is what feed stump that is used for longitudinal turn. Similarly, in the cross thread, that is this cross thread handle, you have a which is used for moving cross thread handle in and out. Hmm. So automatic feed lever you know now, which is used for automatic engagement and disengagement of the feed. Because if you move manually, then you will not get proper finish. At the same time, if you keep on doing manual operation for throughout the day, 8 hours or 10 hours a shift, then the person will get tired. He will not be able to produce the accurate component, as well the production rate will also be less. That's why automatic movement is a must on lathe machine. Tailstock also you are familiar. Generally the tailstock is for supporting the longer workpieces. Its second function is it is used for drilling operation. Drilling operation in on lathe machine. There are two purposes. One to support the workpiece and another to do the drillings on the face. This is how the tailstock look like. This is called the dead center. Why? Because this center doesn't rotates. If this center rotates, then it is called the live center, or it is also called the revolving center. This is your tailstock handle. This is tailstock clamp lever. Like this tailstock also can be moved on these guideways, but manually, not on. So you have to loosen this and then move this tailstock and wherever required. Because if the component is longer, then you have to take this tailstock back. If the component is smaller, that is lengthwise, if the shaft is smaller, then you have to take tailstock ahead, isn't it, toward the headstock. So you take it to the desired position and then clamp by tailstock clamp lever. This tailstock handle is used to move this, or it is also called as the tailstock spindle, in and out. In and out. So you take out this tailstock spindle and you lock it. So now this sleeve or this spindle will not go in or will not move out. All right. And this dead center is fixed to this. Now you can mount your shaft between this dead center and live center, which is attached to the headstock. All right. So now tailstock is locked over here as well as on the guideways. So absolutely now it will not move and it will give a proper rigid support to the workpiece so that there will not be any vibrations, right? Then I told you how to change the speeds on the machine with the help of the gears. Suppose if it is a belt driven machine, then I told you there are pulleys. Generally in case of belt driven, there are 4 pulleys. So you need to shift the belts from one pulley to another pulley if you want to get the different speed. And that's why it is not advisable, and most of the machines are now gear lathe. Of course, gear lathe will be little costly than belt driven lathe, but accuracy wise, production wise, gear lathe are always preferred. Similarly, the feed means the rate at which, feed means velocity, and I've been again and again because most of the students they don't understand these concepts, and then totally that 5 marks numerical, 5 to 10 marks numerical is in this speed and feed. Feed is nothing but the velocity. The unit of velocity generally is meter per second, but here feed is expressed in millimeter per revolution, because here we are not running at 60 kilometer per hour. The tool is moved slowly, so that's why here it is expressed in millimeter per revolution. And then different speeds and different feeds are displayed on the machine. जो गियर बॉक्स का जो फ्रंट प्लेट है वहाँ पे it there is a small plate. On that plate it is mentioned if the lever position it at this position you will get this speed. Hmm. So like that, and from that name plate or from that speed plate you can detect the position of the levers. Hmm. Shear pins and slip clutches, these are the safety devices. If there is any overload, then stop the spindle. Your lead screw or your feed screw or your motor remains the shape, remains the shape. It remains safe. So shear pin and slip clutch. Shear pin will break on its own. So it moment the shear, so it will discontinue the drive to the motor. It will discontinue the drive to the lead screw and to the feed shaft from the spindle. So your lead screw, feed shaft, motor remains same. Of course, your machine will come to halt, but there will not be any damage, heavy damage. And same is the function of slip clutch. That is any over, then the clutch will slip. Clutch will slip means what? It will not transmit the drive, so it will disconnect the drive. These are the devices for 2 marks question. So, for in order to avoid the accident or damages, shear pins and slip clutches are provided on the lathe machine. This is how the shear pin will look like, a round pin. Hmm. You don't have to go this much detail because nobody will ask you the drawing and how the pin is located or how the shear pin is handled. The question will be what are the safety devices used on the lathe machine. So you can say shear pin, we can say the safety clutch or the slip clutch, like that it is. So now I'll close this presentation, this one. Now, before we begin for the next presentation, I will show some images so that I can close this quickly. I told you the turret lathe. I told it lathe. So this is what the hexagonal turret is. Again, this turret indexing mechanism is not there, is removed from the syllabus, and that was a brief uh, question that how the turret indexing takes place. You know, so this turret, these are the 6 faces: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On these 6 faces, the various tools are mounted. So now, say here the spindle is here, all right, and then operation is carried out from this face. So once it is done, then what happens? What happens? You have to press this ball and you have to release it. Release this turret. Now there is something called as the gear arrangement. This gear arrangement, which is crown and crown wheel. We don't have to go with this. So with the help of this, this turret can be rotated. Rotated. So once this is rotated through 60-degree, it can be locked against with the help of this ball and plunger arrangement. All right. So this is called the turret indexing mechanism. Turret. Technically, it is called the ratchet and pawl mechanism. Ratchet and pawl. This is your ratchet. This is for the ratchet. This ratchet is useful for indexing through 60-degree. Then this is turret lathe, tailstock side. Remember, there is no tailstock. You have a headstock here. This picture is taken from Hazra Chaudhary. Alright, so this is one slide on which another slide is mounted, and on which the turret is mounted. This turret length, what is mentioned, is wrong in the textbook. There are turret length and capstan length. So this turret is mounted directly over here. This particular photo, the purpose of showing this, and there is a mistake for the capstan length. In case of capstan, the turret is mounted on one more slide, which is the auxiliary slide. So this is your auxiliary slide, and this auxiliary slide is mounted on a main slide. So capstan length is always weak. Why? Because turret is mounted on a auxiliary slide, and auxiliary slide is mounted on a main slide. Whereas turret length is stronger. Why? Because in turret length, the turret is mounted directly on the main slide. So you have to read this as a mistake. I will take another 5 minutes or 2-3 minutes. This is important now. I was telling that turret lathe or a capstan lathe is used for the mass production. I told you, see, this is your front tool post, this is what is your rear tool post, and this is your turret. So on the turrets, here there are 6 tools, here there are 4 tools, so 10 tools, and here 1 tool, so 11 tools. But you can mount 3 tools here. So that means 4 plus 4, 8 plus 6, 14 tools can be mounted. This is chuck on which the workpiece is hold. And these are the different tools for performing different operations. This particular tool is knurling tool. Yesterday I showed you for doing knurling. What happens now with the help tool, turn, alright, then you index this and use this tool. With the help of this tool, now you can perform knurling operation. Alright. Now this is called as the growing tool. So with the help of you can do the groove on this operation, on this workpiece. This is your center drill. So you have to index, just now the indexing mechanism. So you have to index so that this center drill will come here, and this can move now to and fro on the slide, main slide. So center drilling can be performed here. Once the center drilling is done, then index this. So this will come here. Do the drilling. Once this drilling is done, again index this so that this drill will come and you can do the bigger drill. This is your reamer. Reamer is used for finishing the holes. So this is what is called the turret tool layout. Again, important from examination point of view. Turret tool layout. So they will ask for 5 marks. Write a short note on turret tool layout. So there you have to explain that different tools can be used, can be mounted. Maximum 14 tools can be mounted on the turret lathe. It is simple, nothing difficult. You don't have to worry. And these tools also you will familiar very soon. So I think with this we can stop. Hello, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Hello.
No, sir.
Yeah. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Or you want me to continue for another 5-10 minutes? But then, if I continue, then it will take another 10 minutes. Will we stop? It's up to you.
We will
Yes,
start,
Ritika.
sir.
Huh? Tell me,
We will
Ritika Madi. We'll stop. Okay, fine.
Sir,
So,
we'll continue tomorrow.
yeah, okay. I will do tomorrow. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
This internet connection, this online lecturing, always there is a problem. You should have a very good connection, internet connection. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
most
you.
welcome. Yes, Omkar, you joined late, is it today? Omkar Parak, can you hear me? No. Omkar, you joined late today? Hello, Omkar, can you speak? Hello. Hello, Omkar. Hello. You unmute yourself and speak, no? You know how to mute, unmute, no? I have
Sir, his
unmuted.
mic is on.
Yeah. हाँ आज लेट ज्वाइन केलंस का तू जरा ओमकार हॅलो
Hello, sir. I think the issue is with my earphones mic. I removed the mic.
हाँ I think today you joined late, is it?
Sir, I joined through the old link. I didn't use the classroom link.
अच्छा हाँ हाँ you are understanding, no? You are understanding,
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir.
In case if you have any difficulty, you please ask. Huh?
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Adnan, you want to say something?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. I hope you are understanding
Yes, sir.
explanation and figure lines. Huh?
Yes, sir. Sir, you're giving today's session notes also, no?
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
I'll upload it on the classroom. Huh? The two notes you got, no, two files.
Yeah, 2 files.
Yeah, I am again going to touch those two files also tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And I will also tell you what to do exactly because that first file is quite big. So you don't have to do that much. All right.
Okay,
Okay. I'll take your leave then. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye.